Good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Tonight we want to talk about what the Bridge is. So I'm sure by now you will have heard that there's a school called the Bridge. It's called the Bridge School for Assisted Learning. So I would like tonight to explain to you exactly who we are and introduce many of the people who work at our school, therapists, heads of departments, so that you get to know our school a little bit better. But in any case, who are we? What is a learning assisted school? So the first part is in that title. These are average little guys, and we're going to talk about how we will admit a child to our school. But these are average little guys who require learning assistance. So they need help with their work. There's nothing wrong with intellectual capacity or learning capacity, but they need help with their work. And that's really what we're all about. So that's what learning assisted means. It means assistance with the learning that you're going to do at school. If you've been accustomed to anything to do with our school, you'll know that we work from a neurodiverse approach. And what that means is diversity, meaning different situations. Neuro, meaning something to do with the brain. So we're going to have a look at a circle in a second or two, where we'll look at all the different ideas of what we're on about. We cater for children with dyslexia, dysgraphia, along that line. We also work with children that are very strong with emotional awareness. So they are very, very strong. They understand, they have empathy for each other in terms of problems that they may be facing or issues that they may be facing. So sometimes our children are maybe weak with reading, so dyslexia, but very strong with emotional awareness. Dyspraxia, and our therapists are going to talk a little bit more about that in a second or two, as well as visual perceptual ability. And again, some of our children are very, very strong. They've got really strong abilities in the visual perceptual area. We like to work with children who have autism. We want to help children with all sorts of problems who may come to us, or barriers to learning, if that's a better way of putting it. And so sometimes children with autism will have many barriers to learning. However, there's also very high correlation. They're very strong little guys, and they can really do lots of other things really, really well. They may struggle socially, but they'll be very strong maybe intellectually. So we like to cater for those children, and as well as attention and concentration difficulties. We've chatted before about ADHD, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. And it's not always that a child is hyperactive, but very often a child has concentration problems, which would be loss of focus or not completing a task or things along those lines. So we want to help children with those kinds of difficulties. And on the other hand, we have children who have amazing creative ability. They can sing, they can dance, they can do many things, they can paint, they can draw, and yet may not be very strong in other areas. So we really do want to help and assist every child with barriers to learning, although we want to bring out the strength in those little guys as well. We want people to realize that everybody may be weak in some areas but strong in other areas. We don't want to only emphasize the weak part of things, and I think that's what we were about at the school. Let's talk for a second about criteria for admission to the Bridge. And again, if you have a look at the slide, the first thing that we want to know is, does the child have the learning potential to be at our school? We have very small classes, but still, even within that class, even though there might be differentiation for stronger people in certain areas, we still have to have a certain starting point. And for us, it is about an average learning potential. That's really what it's about. So hopefully your child fits into that first criterion. A visit to the school, so the child will spend some time at the school, trying to fit in socially, emotionally, intellectually, just to see. And sometimes that visit will be over a few days, because we want the child to be able to experience the school. The first day it's very difficult emotionally, but we want the child to be able to have the full experience of the school. So the second day we do an informal internal assessment. And sometimes for people that's a very frightening thing, but it shouldn't be. It's really just to see if the child is roughly on a level with our grade 2s or grade 3s or grade 6s or whatever it may be, and for us to be able to understand. So it may include an assessment of numerical ability in maths, or possibly reading, or something to do with English, and we'll do our own internal assessment to see. You can understand that if we have to help a child who is, say, reading at a grade 1 level, and the child is meant to be in grade 7, we can have a big problem within that class. And so therefore, that part of the assessment is also very important for us, just to make sure that the child is really a good fit for our school. Part of the offering of our school will be, as part of this team, will be therapists, which would be speech therapists and occupational therapists, and whatever that child may need. So our assessment team will get together and discuss each child individually and decide what that particular child's needs are, which may include both speech and occupational therapy if necessary. And we are lucky enough to have people in our staff with a lot of expertise in both those areas. And hopefully, as part of the team, with the teacher, with the head of department, we will be able to help your child to make good progress academically in our school. Our head of department in our foundation phase is Kayla Keating, and she's going to come and tell us a little bit more about what our school offers and a little bit about this team approach.
Hi everyone, my name is Kayla Keating and I am the head of department here at the Bridge School for the foundation phase. Foundation phase meaning grade R to 3. I look after that part of the school. So in the foundation phase here at the Bridge, we focus on integrative learning in the classroom. So we take your maths, your English, your life skills, your Afrikaans, and we combine it all into one fun lesson for the children throughout their day. So with integrative learning, it's awesome for the kids because they get to learn through play. They get to experiment and just have lots of fun in the classroom. And I think at the Bridge, this is what we're all about, having fun through learning. We also have alternative seating in the classroom for the children. So often when a child comes to our school, they've been in a mainstream environment where they've had to just sit at a desk and it's just not working for them. They don't learn that way. So we have awesome options for them in the classroom, like balls to sit on, lap desks, standing desks, wobbly cushions, and they can kind of choose how they want to learn in their day. So we offer smaller classes here where the child has more individualized attention from the teacher. We start our mornings here at the Bridge with something called Ready to Learn. This is an exciting 15 minutes of the morning from 7:30 to 7:45, where we get the children out onto the field and we do things like brain gym, visualizations, mindfulness, just to get their day started with a little bit of movement, and it also gives them consistency in their day. The children love it, so do we as the teachers. It just brings a really lovely, happy vibe to our school. It's really important for us here that we work as a team in order to help a child with learning barriers. So we have an awesome therapy team consisting of speech therapists, occupational therapists, as well as an intern educational psychologist that works with our children. And along with the teacher, as well as myself, we have MDT feedbacks, which is a multidisciplinary team feedback every term with the parents, where everybody gets together, everybody who works with the child gets together with the parents, and we give feedback to you as a parent to discuss any issues that your child is facing and how we are consolidating those issues for your child. What's really important to us as a school is that the teacher understands the child that they are working with. So here at the Bridge, we have really, really amazing, nurturing, kind, empathetic teachers who understand the children in their class. They understand the issues or the barriers to learning that the child may have. One of our main focuses here at the Bridge are our therapies. And so now I'm going to hand over to our awesome speech therapists, Zuleika and Robin, and they are going to inform you all on what our speech therapy department is made up of.
Hello, we're the speech therapy department at the Bridge School, and we will be telling you more about our department.
I'm going to start off by reading a quote by R. Walter. Success as a therapist is not found in doing something for the client, but rather found in being someone for the client. This quote encompasses what we do as a speech therapy department, because we do not only provide speech therapy services for your children, but we also form supportive figures in their development and growth process.
In this department, we assess, monitor, and manage a variety of things. Some of the things include speech disorders, such as maybe a dysarthria or an articulation error. We also work on language problems and concerns that maybe inhibit the learning in the classroom. We also work on auditory processing concerns, as well as a child that maybe presents with fussy eaters. As Dr. Pienaar said, we do have children on the spectrum in our school.
Our therapy is all evidence-based practice, and we thrive on successful therapy goals achieved by a multidisciplinary team approach, which involves the teacher, the therapist, and you as the caregiver.
In summary, we provide a supportive and nourishing environment for your children. I would like to hand over to our colleagues now, the OT department.
My name is Kelisha. I'm one of the occupational therapists at the OT department at the Bridge. Occupational therapy addresses occupation. So for a child, that would be their social life, their play life, and their academics. And that's what we work with at the school here. So we see how a child interacts with their environment, how do they cope in the classroom with their teaching instructions, with their peers, with their seating. On the playground, how do they socialize? Do they struggle with too much noise, with too much movement? And then also consider the way in which children play. So play is a huge part of how we direct our therapies. If a child prefers messy play or if they prefer something more structured, we use that to direct the way in which we interact with the children and support them. So in occupational therapy, it's very important for a child to be internally motivated for them to succeed. And that's our goal, to work with what they need and what they want and what provides the best support and love and safety for the children. My colleague Emily is going to describe to you how exactly we do this and the different methods of support that we provide in our OT department.
Hi everyone, my name's Emily. I'm one of the occupational therapists here at the Bridge School. Like Kelly said, we provide a very holistic approach to the kids here. Because we're on staff at the Bridge, it means that we can pull kids out of class for individual and group therapy, but it also means that we can step into the classroom and assist when they're having difficulties there. We also have some kids who have some gross motor challenges, which means we can help them during break times, we can help them during play ball. Some of the things that we treat here are children's visual perceptual problems, which impacts their academic learning, such as reading and writing. We also assist them with planning and organizing so that they're able to move their body correctly through space, but also so that they can organize their academic environment while they're working. We work on fine motor skills so that kids can hold their pencils properly, write, engage with their fingers correctly in the environment. We have a sensory garden here at the Bridge School. It's really nice because it allows the children to engage with all their senses. So we have a section for taste where there's different plants that kids can taste. We have a section with really potent smelling plants that kids can smell and feel and touch. We also have some games in that section. So we have a variety of musical instruments, different games that they can play. And it just provides the kids with a really nice all-round sensory experience.
I'd like to talk about our intern educational psychologist. We are very, very lucky and privileged to have a lady at our school, and she will be providing us services across the board. And our little guys probably require a little bit of extra assistance. So whether it's some counseling, whether it's an assessment, she's able to provide all of that.
Good evening everyone, my name is Arifa and I am the intern educational psychologist for the Bridge School. I'm here to create a safe environment for the children to talk about their feelings and deal with their emotions. If children's emotions aren't regulated, it's likely that they're going to struggle in the learning environment. So I work on providing them with various coping strategies that can be used to help them deal with these challenging experiences. I offer counseling sessions that address various barriers to learning, such as anxiety, low self-esteem, poor social skills, grief. I also conduct various psycho-educational assessments that cover a range of things such as IQ testing and scholastic abilities.
I'd like to talk about the development of the school. So the Bridge opened in 2018, and at that time there were 30 children as part of the school, and obviously very few teachers, and our school has grown. In 2020, we had our first grade 7s. In 2021, this year, we've got our first grade 8s, and next year we'll have our first grade 9s. And we're working towards an IEB outcome matric. IEB is the Independent Examination Board, and it means at the end of that time, a child will have written matric with us, with assistance, but they will be able to stay with us to matric. One of the very important parts of our school is a so-called senior phase. We call it our inter-sen phase. So it is the intermediate phase, which for us is grade 4 to 6. And then 7, 8, and 9 is the senior phase. And Mr. Gareth Martin is the head of department for that phase for us. And eventually we'll go to matric, and that's called the FET phase, but that's in time to come.
Good evening. My name is Gareth Martin, and I'm the head of department for the intermediate phase and the senior phase. So here at the Bridge, we focus on the academics, but we want to make sure that the children have the confidence in order to continue with their learning. And so the teachers are in a position where they know where the children are at. And so they have an idea of how to differentiate with the learning so that we are allowing the child to learn at their specific age level. In the interscent phase, we want to allow the children to learn holistically, and so we have the academic side, but we also want to allow the children to learn through the cultural and the sports that we offer here at the Bridge. So which would include swimming and tennis, soccer, hockey, athletics and cross country, chess, singing group, art. During formal assessments, we provide concessions for children that will need them, and that means that we will provide a reader or a scribe. We provide extra time and prompting for children that need it during exams and test situations.
So if your child has any neurodiverse situation and has, I would like to call it, average learning potential, then your child may be a fit for us. And hopefully we'll see you soon.
Hi, welcome to the Bridge School, where we are committed to excellence in education.
So the Bridge School for Assisted Learning is a school for bright children, children who may have barriers to learning, such as anxiety, concentration problems, maybe even dyslexia, motor problems, perceptual problems, all those kinds of barriers. So we at the Bridge School want to assist your child to overcome those barriers. So we have specialized staff on board, we have therapists, we have occupational therapists, speech therapists, physiotherapists, all the therapists you may require.
I came to the Bridge because sometimes I struggled a little bit with school, and it's helped so much coming to the Bridge. It's worked so much more.
Here at the Bridge, we offer specialized classroom environments to suit your child's needs. We have smaller classrooms than you would in a mainstream school.
In my old school, there were too much of classmates because there are 30 classmates because I keep on getting distracted.
We look at specific learner profiles for your child. We then decide if your child would need certain therapies. So we would look at language, which would include speech therapy, OT or physiotherapy.
At the Bridge, our teachers all have qualifications related to whether it be inclusive education or remedial education, and it is also a requirement that they keep up to date with those qualifications.
Should your child need any extra assistance in the classroom or in the field of academics, we offer academic support classes in the afternoons. When a child is identified with extra learning barriers, they then come into the IP classroom environment. IP stands for Individualized Educational Program. A multidisciplinary team gets together that would include the therapist, the teacher, as well as the parents, and we work on developing a program for the child. So, for example, if a child really battles to write, in the program we will then put things together or in place for them where they will use a laptop, for example, and rather type instead of write. So IP is designed to the child's specific needs.
I like the Bridge because I can do fun activities. I like the Century Garden because the beautiful flowers, and there's a lot of stuff to do there.
Along with the academic support, the senior primary children also have the opportunity to get involved with other activities at our MIC building, which is the Multiple Intelligence Center. Here, they will upskill themselves in robotics and coding, as well as our science club, and at times we will also improve on our culinary skills.
At the Bridge, we offer many cultural activities for our children. Some of these include the Eisteddfod, dancing, drama and arts. We also have music, chess and yoga.
The best thing about the Bridge is I like to play soccer here. I like sport because it's exercising and it makes you more stronger.
We feel that it is important to have a well-rounded child here at the Bridge. Therefore, we encourage each learner to take part in at least one extracurricular activity per term. These sports include soccer, swimming, tennis, netball, athletics and cross-country.
I like how you don't feel pressured anymore and you can just let all your feelings go.
Often students will thrive at the Bridge because they are seen as individuals. We will know who they are, why they may feel down or despondent or irritated on a day.
It's okay if you feel upset, because at my last school I didn't feel like I need to let it out as much, and now I'm just all chilled about it and it's all okay.
It is one of the goals at the Bridge to assist our children to return to mainstream education if possible. So we follow mainstream CAPS curriculum as far as we can, and we would like to assist your child to be able to rejoin the mainstream classroom in time to come.
What I like about the teachers, because they're friendly and they help me in school. They're so caring and they care for you and they're kind and they tell you how awesome you are, and it feels really nice.
At the Bridge, our approach is to allow our children to think differently if necessary. Some of them have strength in certain areas, some of them have weaknesses in other areas. We would like to take away the stigma of the idea that there is a deficiency. It's rather a difference, not a deficiency. So we have strengths, we have weaknesses, and the whole approach, the neurodiverse approach at the school, is such that we would like to bring out both the strengths and help children with weaknesses. I hope you've had a worthwhile tour of the Bridge. I would like you to see the Bridge as we see it every day. If you feel that your child may be a candidate for our school, please come and see us. Come and have a cup of coffee. I'd like to take you on a tour of the school just to show you what we do. For me, it's always about coming to see a school during the day so that you can see what we do at school every day. Hopefully, we'll see you soon.
When I wake up in the morning, I feel happy because I get to play and do maths and do art and play with my friends and get smarter.